We classify economic goods into three distinct types. Private goods, these ones here, private goods such as a hamburger, they are rival, right? Which means that if you buy a hamburger, nobody else can have it. If you consume it, it's gone. You can only buy your hamburger if you pay the price. In fact, the price signals are clear so that market allocation leads to allocative efficiency. Now, if we look at the second type, which we studied in B2, mixed goods, these are goods with externalities, like the pollution which is shown in the image up here. We see that the price signals are unclear because it leads to either under or overproduction or consumption, and there is a deadweight loss. Public goods, such as the lighthouse shown here, are non-rival, non-depletable, and non-excludable by price. What that means is that if you use a lighthouse, right, for navigation purposes, it doesn't stop anyone else using it. And in fact, if you use it, the resources are not depleted, they're still available later. And it's unreasonable to charge you a price. You can actually, once it's provided, you can use it free of charge. In the case of public goods, the market fails completely. You might find the matrix which is shown down here even clearer. We see that private goods are those that are rival and excludable, such as food or, as we saw with the hamburger. And the public goods down here are non-excludable and they're non-rival. And you see the public broadcasting, such as television, public radio, are quite a good example of public goods. You'll see on the screen a little bit more detail as to the qualities of public goods. You might want to stop the video just for a moment just to read this. We could also classify this picnic spot as a public good. The people using it, they're not paying for it. Okay, they are free riders. It's non-excludable by price. There's no fence around you don't have to pay to use it. It's non-rival. One person, this guy here, he's just minding his own business, eating his lunch. He's got some funny looks over here. Anyway, look, he's not stopping other people using it. He's not using the resource up in his consumption. As we saw in the first slide, an example of a public good is a lighthouse. Okay, you could consider national defence, like the Army, Navy, Air Force, as a really good example. Law and order, roads, motorways. Free-to-air television and radio broadcasting, okay, those without commercials, could be considered as public goods. Private producers, what we mean by that really is the market. The market players, they're not going to produce these goods that we classify as public goods because they can't raise any money. And that is because of free rider behaviour. So the public goods that we actually see are more than likely to be collective goods. Collective goods are available to everyone and they're provided by government free of charge and they're paid for collectively through the tax system. In some countries, some public goods are excludable by price. And they're charged for, such as a toll for using a road, or a toll to cross a bridge, or a part payment for healthcare. We call these payments user pays. This diagram is showing the effect of a user pays charge. Okay, the cost and benefits are shown on vertical, the output or the quantity of trips, number of trips, is shown on the horizontal. Notice that the marginal cost is 0, as it is a public good after all. The downward sloping MB curve, this shows the effective demand curve. Allocative efficiency would occur here, where MB equals MC. Now, if the government charges a toll, let's say $2 per trip, this is going to reduce the quantity of trips from Q to Q toll here, and the green shaded area here effectively is the deadweight loss, the loss of welfare resulting from the toll. This only occurs because the capacity of the bridge is greater than the demand, if you like. Now, if the capacity was in fact here, this green area would actually represent congestion, and in fact the toll would be adding to efficiency, because what would happen is it's getting rid of this congestion and would lead to a more efficient allocation of resources. Because of market failure, the market is ineffective at allocating resources, deciding on what mix of resources that we use for defence or healthcare, education, etc., determined by political considerations. Okay, any decision we make has an opportunity cost. We could actually call this the trade-off. Okay, and society has to determine the best mix of public and private goods. Okay, as you see in the diagram here, this is a PPC. Yeah, we can either have lots of private goods but very few public goods, or we can go the other way. We can allocate more resources into the production of public goods. Now, as I said, this is a political consideration. And when it comes to deciding the appropriate mix, we're looking for the socially desirable level of output, and this is going to be where the marginal social cost here equates to the marginal social benefit. We saw this with the in the instance of mixed goods and externalities. Another way of looking at it is we want the biggest gap between the total social benefits and the total social costs. Okay, this is going to give us the social equilibrium here. So in summary, public goods, this is where the market fails completely. Why? Well, this is related to the non-excludability function, right? And because of non-excludability, we get free rider behavior. Because of free rider behavior, firms are unable to charge a price. They can't cover their costs, therefore they won't produce it. And as a result, this is where the government has to intervene, has to step in, and the goods that we classify as public goods generally are the collective goods that we recognised, okay, those goods which are provided free of charge, available to everybody, and they're paid for collectively through the tax system. Anyway, make sure you read the chapter B3, and best wishes.